up, everybody? How is it going? Austin Prechtelevate Performance, coming at you live. Happy. Today is Tuesday? Tuesday. It's Tuesday. Let's go. Right? Taco Tuesday. Um, anyways, guys, hopping on here today. I'm going to make this a quick live. Hope you are having a good day so far. And as you are tuning in, whether you're watching this as a replay or live, let me know that you saw this. Drop a like. Feel free to tag a couple friends that you think might get value from this. But today, I'm going to be talking about why I don't do meal planning for my clients, why I don't necessarily like meal planning that much, and why I think that it has its place from time to time, depending on where someone's at with their journey. But for the most part, I do not really subscribe to you know uh, you know doing meal plans only for the rest of your life, right? And I'm gonna tell you guys about why and kind of like the difference between meal prepping and meal planning, like getting a meal plan from somebody versus like prepping your own meals. Because meal prep's awesome. It can be great for saving you money, time. It can make sure that you're dialed in on your calories and macros if you're trying to lose weight, or if you're trying to gain weight or build muscle, whatever it may be. That can be a really useful tool for a lot of people. But meal planning itself, I do not do for my clients. I really don't like doing it. I don't think it's very effective. And also, it's not really setting up my clients to have like long term success, right? Because at the end of the day, if I'm doing literally, all the work for them and planning out all their meals and their food and things like that for them, they're not learning how to do that shit on their own, right? They're not really, if I'm telling them what to eat every single day, what that food's made up of, how much of each thing, that's not really giving them, the skill sets to eventually take the training wheels off, right? And so I don't really like meal plans, but I do like meal prepping, and I also really like flexible dieting. I also like macro coaching. I like these things, but at the end of the day, if you're doing only meal plans and you're only following meal plans that somebody gives you, like a printed off sheet for whatever it may be, you're not really learning those skill sets on your own, and that's why I really don't like it. And it's not really teaching you how to do these things on your own long term. And then what happens when you get tired of that food eventually, or you leave that coach or that program or whatever it may be, and you're like, oh, I'm tired of eating this, but how do I keep it going? You're kind of left at a loss, and you don't really, know where to go from there. And so that's why, meal prep can be awesome, right? I like meal prep. I'm distinguishing between those two, right? Meal prep and meal planning; those are different. But macro coaching, flexible dieting, learning about how foods work, and having that like that foundation of nutritional knowledge, that will take you really far. Because eventually, right, for most people, unless you're constantly striving towards new weight loss goals or like bodybuilding goals or like building muscle goals or whatever it may be, eventually some people get to a place where they're happy with where they're at and they want to maintain it, right? They want to maintain their progress. They want to maintain their all that hard work that they put in, and the progress that they received. And so, how do you do that, right? Well, eventually, if you learn how to flexibly diet, if you learn how to, like meal prep, or you learn how to, follow these guidelines, and you learn these rules, and you get that knowledge, what happens is you eventually, will figure out how to intuitively eat to maintain your body weight, to maintain your progress that you made. And that's the ultimate goal, right? That's my ultimate goal for a lot of my clients, is like, after it's all said and done, like I want them to be able to like know what they're doing enough to where they eventually can, just kind of like they're like, okay, I have a rough idea of what's in this food. If I gain a pound or two, well, I probably need to dial it back a little bit, and I'll, and if you're losing a little bit more weight than you want, hey, happy Tuesday, Cheryl, how's it going? Then you can bring it, you can eat a little bit more, maybe gain a little bit or lose a little bit. Like it's almost like you find this balance where you're comfortable at, and you know how to move the dial in whatever direction that you need to move it in, based on how your body's changing. And so that's kind of like where intuitive eating kind of comes in, and that's what it is like flexible dieting and macro coaching, and following these like styles of eating and these guidelines and these nutritional plans or diets or whatever you want to call it. That is the precursor to intuitive eating, right? That's the precursor to intuitive eating. That is how somebody is going to make this a lifestyle change, a long-term lifestyle change, because so many people get so like after a certain point, you kind of burn out. You don't want to, like, most people don't want to track calories for the rest of their life until they're like 80 years old, unless they're, prepping for like a show or they're trying to lose weight. Unless they're working towards a goal. If you're just actively trying to maintain your progress, you probably don't want to have to track calories or things like that for the rest of your life, right? Most people get hung up on that and they're like, and that's why they follow keto or that's why they follow whatever it may be, because it's just easier to follow rules or like rough guidelines that they can sort of intuitively eat with to reach their goals. That's why people like that stuff. That's why they don't like calorie count. That's why they don't like doing that stuff. But if you put the work in for macro coaching, if you put the work in for tracking your calories, doing those things, this flexible dieting like plan, so to speak, that sets you up for success long term to actually learn how to intuitively eat, to know what's in your food, know how your body responds to it, know how many calories are in certain things. So that way, like, maybe, a year or two or however long it takes you to reach your goal, after that's said and done, then you're like, oh shit, like I know how much is in that chicken that I'm probably gonna eat. I know how much is in that, fruit that I'm probably gonna eat. I have a rough idea within, maybe 50 calories of what's in that food. And guess what? That's awesome because then you can maintain your progress and you don't have to like track all the fucking time, right? So that's what I'm saying here is like that's why I don't like meal planning. That's why I don't do meal planning for my clients because I want them to be self-sufficient eventually, right? I want them to be able to do this shit on their own eventually, right? If you guys are getting some value from this, if this makes sense, drop some comments and drop some fire in the chat. Give it a like. Tag some people that you think would get some, benefit from this live so far. But yeah, does that make sense? So that's why, that's kind of the difference. Whenever I say meal prep or meal planning, there's a difference. Like if you're getting a meal plan, you're getting something from a coach or a website or whatever it may be that's like, here, eat these specific amounts of foods each day, and they give you the same shit over and over again, or it's like, the same 2 or 3 meals on rotation, blah, 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 that they just adjust over time. And I don't really like that, right? I don't want to eat the same shit every day. I don't think most of my clients want to eat the same shit every day. If they do, that's fine. More power to them. But I like variety. I like to eat. I like to be able to go out to dinner with my friends and family sometimes. I like to be able to go do things like that when I'm not like prepping, not when I'm not on like a weight loss phase or like I'm maintaining or maybe I'm on vacation. Like I know what's in most foods, or if I need to, I can pull that. I can pull like my fitness pal up or something like that and figure it out. And then I'm like, okay, cool. Like now I know how much I have for the rest of it. Like it's way more like real life friendly than being on a meal plan for the rest of your life, right? Because like nobody like that's not an end game. That's you're gonna reach a point where you're like, well, now what do I do, right? And you're not gonna know what to do. So yeah. So I always think like whether you're working with me or not, like most of my clients can attest like flexible dieting is definitely like the like most like freeing thing out there, as long as you use it wisely, right? As long as you use it wisely and sort of follow more of like an 80-20 rule where you're like, getting most of your food from, whole food sources, nutritious food sources that aren't, overly processed and shit. So you can get your micronutrients in and your fiber in and things like that. But then the other 20%, like, you can enjoy foods that you like, right? I eat chips and ice cream. I eat cookies. I eat things like that. I still eat those things, right? And I'm still reaching, like, making progress towards my goals, and you guys can do that too. You can. And so, that's why I think it's just way more like it's a much better, like, a happier life to live that way. Like if somebody tells you that you can't have pizza or something like that for the rest of your life because it's not on your meal plan, well, you're gonna probably not want to be on your meal plan for that long, right? You feel very restricted. You feel like you can't, like you feel like it's not like a because it's not a sustainable like fitness journey. It's not a lifestyle change. It's you can still have those things without being overly restrictive and having to have that like fear of missing out. That's gonna make you feel like a failure if you fall off your meal plan. So that's why I don't like it. I see Kristen. Hello, hello. I see Cheryl says I think portion control is a good thing to practice. I can do that with any food. Exactly. Yeah. Kristen says hello. Norad's here today, so I'm home with her. Oh, I hope she gets feeling better. I hope she gets feeling better. Yeah. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, but yeah, guys. So like that's why I don't like meal planning. I don't like meal planning. I like meal prep. I like it fits your macros. But it's like for me, the way I view it is like I am almost like anybody that is starting out in a new skill. Imagine yourself as being or like a new thing that you're trying to pursue. Imagine this, like you're a baby, right? Like you're a baby in this scenario. You've never done it before, right? You have no skill set. You're like a baby trying to learn how to walk, well, you got to learn how to crawl first, right? You got to learn how to well, actually you got to learn how to lift your head up, and then you got to learn how to crawl, and then you got to learn how to walk, or like pull yourself up, and then you learn how to walk. For me, you know, a lot of my clients coming into this, they may be at like the crawling stage. They may just try to be lifting their neck up. They don't know, they might not know what this stuff is. And a lot of you might feel that same way, where you don't know about macros, you don't know how calories work, you don't know why you need protein or how much you need or whatever it may be. And so a lot of you might be at that like stage where you're just like laying on the floor trying to figure out how to like move your head. And a lot of times, like for me, it's not my job to like because this is where this analogy kind of like I like this analogy is like it's not my job to like grab your legs and move your legs for you and walk for you. My job is to be there and to answer your questions and to help you and field any questions and help just make sure that you don't hit your head on the floor trying when you're trying to learn how to walk. That's how I like to view what I do. By teaching my clients about nutrition, by teaching them about macros, about calories, about flexible dieting. Because if I'm just doing all the meal planning for them and I'm teaching them and telling them like this is eat 1 cup of rice and eat 1 egg and eat like 6 ounces of chicken or whatever it may be, like it's okay to give somebody a framework to kind of go off of at the beginning. But if you're constantly doing that for them day in day out, like they're never gonna learn and they're never gonna like learn how to walk on their own. And be able to do this long term for themselves or teach other people how to do this stuff. And for me, like there's always going to be people out there that have goals, whether it's weight loss or building muscle or they want to get healthy or whatever it may be. There's never going to be a shortage of people who want to like work on themselves or to get better at something. And so like the more people that are out there that know how to do this long term for themselves, like sustainably, like the better off the world is going to freaking be. So yeah, so that's why I don't like meal plans. I don't like meal plans. I do like flexible dieting. I do like meal prepping. But if you're somebody who is like been like I can't eat healthy or I can't do this or I don't like nutrition or I don't like this, like it's not for me. Like just know like it's not always that way. Like meal planning is not the only way to like reach your goals. And also, if you didn't like calorie tracking in the past, or you didn't like macro coaching or flexible dieting in the past, like that's okay. You don't have to do it for the rest of your life. You just have to do it long enough to learn how it actually all works and how, your body responds to certain things. And, once you actually reach your goals, then you can maintain and try to follow more of like an intuitive eating style of nutrition. So, yeah. That's all I got for you guys today. But that's why, when it comes down to it, like, don't rely on meal plans. Don't rely on meal plans. Like, learn how to do this stuff. Like, I view like if like flexible dieting is almost like guerrilla style warfare for nutrition. It's just like you're like running around. Like, yes, it's good to have a game plan before you go and like run around and try and figure out like and try to complete your mission of being like on your nutrition for the day. But like, if something crazy happens, you're able to like be a lot more versatile and adaptive to the situation, and still reach your goals. And that's why I think it's superior to most diets and like meal planning and stuff like that. So yeah, if that makes sense, let me know. Let me know your number one takeaway though. Do you know what flexible dieting is? If you're not one of my clients right now, do you know about macros? Do you know about nutrition? Like what do you feel like you're lacking in right now, knowledge wise, that you want to learn more about? And whatever that may be, I encourage you to always do your own research, but feel free to reach out if you have questions about that stuff. Just because like that's kind of my jam. So other than that, though, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Let me know your number one takeaway. Watching this later time, hashtag replay. Feel free to give this video a like, a share, so other people can see it and learn that dieting doesn't always have to suck as much as it probably has in the past for them. So cool. Other than that, I appreciate you guys. Happy Tuesday. Eat some tacos if you have the calories for it, or if you or if you're flexibly dieting right now. And have a good ass rest of your day, everybody. See ya.